Wealth protection and risk management. Wealth creation is incomplete without wealth protection. Many people dedicate decades to building financial stability, only to watch it disappear due to unforeseen risks, poor planning, or lack of insurance. Protecting wealth involves safeguarding assets against market fluctuations, medical emergencies, lawsuits, inflation, and even poor decision-making. A wealthy person without risk management is like a farmer harvesting grain without building silos. Sooner or later, losses come. By integrating financial safeguards into your wealth strategy, you preserve what you have worked for and create a solid foundation for sustainable growth. Risk management is not about fear, it is about foresight. A wise person identifies potential threats and establishes preventive measures before crises arrive. For instance, a sudden accident can wipe out savings if no insurance is in place, while inflation can quietly erode purchasing power if investments aren't diversified. Managing risks doesn't mean avoiding them completely, but learning how to minimize exposure while maximizing protection. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. In financial terms, a naira spent on insurance or proper planning today can save millions tomorrow, securing both present comfort and future prosperity. One overlooked aspect of wealth protection is legal structure. Many entrepreneurs operate their businesses without limited liability protection, unknowingly exposing personal assets to lawsuits or business failures. Imagine a successful boutique owner who failed to register her business properly. When a supplier sued over unpaid debts caused by fraud from a staff member, her house was at risk because she hadn't separated personal and business finances. A simple corporate structure could have shielded her personal wealth. Understanding and applying legal frameworks is crucial for both entrepreneurs and salaried individuals, ensuring that your financial future isn't jeopardized by legal oversights. Inflation is another silent enemy of wealth. People who keep large sums of money in savings accounts without growth mechanisms often find their purchasing power reduced over time. For example, Mr. Ade saved 5 million naira in a bank account for 10 years without investing. By the end, his money could buy far less than when he started. The real value had depreciated because inflation wasn't factored in. This is why wealth protection requires not only saving but strategic saving and investing in vehicles that outpace inflation, such as index funds, real estate, or inflation-protected securities. True wealth protection ensures growth. A comprehensive wealth protection plan also involves protecting one's health. Medical emergencies can bankrupt even the wealthiest families if health insurance and preventive care are ignored. Consider a young executive who ignored medical coverage because he felt too healthy. A sudden surgery cost him over 3 million naira, wiping away his emergency fund and pushing him into debt. Health is wealth, and without it, financial wealth quickly evaporates. Proper planning, including healthcare coverage and wellness routines, ensures that one's wealth isn't lost to avoidable crises. By protecting income sources and personal health through the following ways, individuals can sustain wealth for themselves and generations to come. Number 1. Identifying risks. The first principle of risk management is identifying risks. Risks can be personal, financial, or business-related. Personal risks include health issues, accidents, or even premature death. Financial risks involve job loss, inflation, or market downturns. Business risks include lawsuits, fraud, or supply chain failures. Mapping out these risks helps you anticipate threats and develop strategies for protection. For instance, a family breadwinner should consider what would happen if income suddenly stopped. By asking such questions early, one can put structures like emergency funds, life insurance, and diversified investments in place, ensuring dependents are not left vulnerable. Number 2. Insurance. Insurance remains one of the most practical tools for wealth protection. Life, health, auto, property, and business insurance are not luxury expenses but shields against catastrophic losses. Take the case of Ngozi, who lost her home to a fire. Because she had property insurance, her claim covered rebuilding costs and kept her family financially stable. Without insurance, she would have been forced to liquidate other assets or take on crippling debt. Insurance turns unexpected disasters into manageable inconveniences, ensuring that long-term financial plans are not derailed. Many wealthy people prioritize insurance first before luxuries, understanding its role in protection. Number 3. Emergency fund. An emergency fund is another essential wealth shield. Experts recommend saving at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a liquid, easily accessible account. This fund cushions against job loss, medical emergencies, or urgent repairs. For instance, when Kelechi lost his job during the pandemic, his emergency fund allowed him to cover rent, food, and basic expenses for 4 months until he secured another job. Without it, he would have been forced to borrow at high interest rates. An emergency fund is like a personal insurance policy that provides peace of mind and financial stability during crises. Number 4. Debt management. Debt management is also central to wealth protection. While certain debts like mortgages or business loans can be productive, unmanaged consumer debt is a wealth destroyer. Imagine Funmi, who accumulated credit card debts to maintain a luxury lifestyle. When her income slowed, interest piled up and she had to sell her assets to cover debts. Contrast this with Ibrahim, who avoided high-interest debts and only borrowed for investments that generated returns. Proper debt management ensures that wealth is not eroded by compounding interest. The ability to distinguish between good and bad debt is essential for protecting long-term financial health. Number 5. Securing multiple streams of income. Wealth protection also involves securing multiple streams of income. If all your earnings come from a single source, losing that source can destabilize your financial life. For example, Tund, an engineer, relied solely on his job until sudden retrenchment left him financially stranded. In contrast, Stella, a teacher, built side income through online tutoring and rental properties. When her salary was delayed for months, her other income streams kept her afloat. Diversification of income is both a wealth-building and risk mitigation strategy. The stronger and more varied your income sources, the more resilient you are against life's uncertainties. Number 6. Estate planning. Estate planning is a critical but often neglected aspect of wealth protection. Many families suffer unnecessary disputes and financial losses because loved ones die intestate without a will or trust. When Chief Akor, a wealthy businessman, passed without a will, his children spent years in court eroding family wealth through legal battles. Compare this to Mrs. Balagun, who created a detailed will and trust, ensuring smooth wealth transfer to her heirs. Estate planning protects not only assets but also family harmony. A thoughtful legacy plan ensures wealth is preserved and utilized as intended, rather than being wasted in conflicts. Number 7. Asset diversification. Asset diversification remains one of the strongest shields against risk. Putting all your wealth in one place is like building a mansion on a single pillar. Collapse is inevitable when pressure comes. For example, during an economic downturn, real estate values might drop, but stock investments could rise, balancing the effect. Likewise, foreign currency investments can hedge against local inflation. Wealthy individuals spread their investments across industries, geographies, and asset classes. This doesn't eliminate risk, but it reduces vulnerability to sudden losses. A balanced portfolio ensures that when one stream underperforms, others sustain the system. Diversification is, therefore, a non-negotiable principle of wealth protection. Number 8. Tax planning. Another overlooked dimension is tax planning. Many lose wealth through ignorance of tax laws. By understanding allowable deductions, investment tax breaks, and estate tax rules, individuals can legally reduce tax burdens and retain more wealth. For instance, a business owner who reinvests profits into qualifying equipment purchases can reduce taxable income significantly. Conversely, someone ignorant of such laws may pay excessive taxes, weakening their wealth base. Tax efficiency doesn't mean evasion, it means intelligent legal structuring. Consulting professionals and staying updated on tax codes ensures that wealth is not silently drained by preventable liabilities. Tax-smart planning is as crucial as earning. Number 9. Guarding against scams and fraud. Wealth protection also requires guarding against scams and fraud. In Nigeria and across the globe, countless people have lost life savings to Ponzi schemes and fraudulent investments. Consider Chaik, who invested 10 million naira into a scheme promising 30% monthly returns. Within 6 months, the company vanished and his wealth evaporated. Wealthy people safeguard their funds by vetting opportunities, confirming licenses, and never being swayed by too-good-to-be-true offers. Proper due diligence and financial literacy are shields against manipulation. The first rule of wealth protection is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Number 10. Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is an emerging dimension of risk management. As banking and investments shift online, criminals target wealth through digital fraud. Phishing emails, hacked accounts, and identity theft have drained many unsuspecting individuals. For example, Amina clicked a fraudulent email link, leading hackers to siphon 3.2 million naira from her account. Wealth protection today requires strong passwords, two-factor authentication, and awareness of online threats. Wealth is no longer stored only in vaults, it exists in digital systems vulnerable to attack. Securing wealth in the 21st century demands technological vigilance alongside traditional financial planning. Number 11. Legal protection through contracts. Legal protection through contracts is another shield. Many individuals enter business partnerships or property purchases without written agreements, exposing themselves to disputes. For instance, two friends built a logistics company but never documented their profit-sharing terms. When the business grew, conflicts arose, leading to lawsuits and eventual collapse. A simple contract could have clarified expectations and protected both parties. Contracts serve as wealth guards by minimizing misunderstandings and providing legal recourse in disputes. Anyone serious about wealth must respect the power of written agreements, no matter how small the transaction appears. Number 12. Protecting your reputation. Wealth protection also involves protecting reputation. In today's interconnected world, a single scandal can destroy business value and financial standing. For example, a contractor accused of fraud, even without proof, lost government contracts worth millions. His reputation was his biggest asset, and once damaged, wealth followed. Wealth protection, therefore, extends to personal conduct, ethical business practices, and brand image. Safeguarding integrity ensures that wealth is not destroyed by distrust. A strong reputation is like insurance. It attracts opportunities, protects income streams, and builds generational trust. Number 13. Succession planning. Another critical area is succession planning. Many businesses collapse after the founder passes because no succession structure was in place. Consider Chief Musa, who built a thriving manufacturing empire but died without grooming his children or appointing managers. Within 3 years, mismanagement eroded decades of wealth creation. By contrast, Mrs. Bello gradually involved her children in her fashion empire, establishing leadership succession before retirement. Today, her wealth not only survives but multiplies. Wealth protection ensures continuity beyond the originator's lifetime, securing assets for the next generation. Number 14. Philanthropy. Philanthropy, surprisingly, is also a wealth protection tool. Giving strategically to society builds goodwill, reduces hostility, and creates long-term security. Wealthy families that ignore societal needs often face backlash, resentment, or even government pressure. For instance, a mining company investing in local schools and hospitals not only protects its reputation, but also shields its wealth from community unrest. Generosity opens doors and serves as protection against attacks rooted in envy or perceived exploitation. In God's economy, giving is not a loss but a hedge. He that gives to the poor lends to the Lord. Proverbs 19:17. Number 15. Education and continuous learning. Education plays a silent but vital role in wealth protection. Financial literacy prevents poor decisions that drain wealth. For example, Dealey inherited 50 million naira but lacked investment knowledge. Within 3 years of reckless spending and bad advice, he was bankrupt. Contrast this with Yemi, who invested in financial education and surrounded himself with advisors. He grew his inheritance steadily while avoiding high-risk ventures. Wealth is safest in the hands of the informed. Without knowledge, even vast riches become temporary. Financial education is the fence around wealth, preventing external threats and internal mismanagement. Number 16. Monitoring cash flow. Wealth protection requires monitoring cash flow. Many individuals and businesses fail not because of lack of assets, but due to poor cash flow management. For instance, a company might own properties worth 200 million naira but collapse because it couldn't pay suppliers on time. By maintaining liquidity and tracking inflows and outflows, wealth remains accessible and functional. Cash flow monitoring prevents overleverage, ensures bills are covered, and sustains credibility. In simple terms, wealth is not only about what you own, it's about what you can access when needed. Number 17. Currency diversification. Another safeguard is currency diversification. Economies are unpredictable, and reliance on a single currency exposes wealth to volatility. Nigerians holding savings only in naira often face severe losses during devaluation. Those who diversify into dollars, pounds, or stable foreign assets shield wealth against local shocks. For example, during a naira crash, Tola's dollar savings maintained value, while Chitty's naira savings halved in purchasing power. Currency diversification acts as a hedge, ensuring that wealth isn't tied to the instability of one economy. Number 18. Securing intellectual property. Wealth protection also means securing intellectual property (IP). For creators, inventors, and entrepreneurs, IP can be the most valuable asset. Without trademarks, patents, or copyrights, others can exploit one's ideas freely, eroding income potential. Consider a songwriter whose hit was stolen because he hadn't copyrighted it. Years of royalties went to someone else. Protecting IP ensures that creative wealth flows to the rightful owner. In today's knowledge economy, intellectual property is as important as physical property, and guarding it is central to risk management. Number 19. Partnership selection. Partnership selection is another overlooked form of wealth protection. Aligning with the wrong people can destroy fortunes. For example, Kalu entered a joint business with a friend involved secretly in illegal trade. When authorities intervened, Kalu lost credibility and assets. Wealthy individuals protect their fortunes by conducting due diligence on potential partners, checking legal records, and understanding values. Aligning with trustworthy, ethical people ensures that wealth is not compromised by association. As Scripture warns, bad company corrupts good morals 1 Corinthians 15:33 and often wealth too. Number 20. Risk transfer strategies. Wealth protection must include risk transfer strategies. Not every risk can be avoided, but many can be transferred. Insurance transfers financial liability to insurers, while contracts transfer certain risks to partners or suppliers. For instance, construction companies transfer accident liability to subcontractors through contracts, protecting themselves from lawsuits. By intelligently shifting risks, wealth owners reduce exposure while maintaining growth opportunities. Risk transfer is about ensuring that no single event wipes out years of progress. Number 21. Wealth documentation. Another essential area is wealth documentation. Proper record keeping of assets, liabilities, and investments ensures clarity. Many families lose properties because ownership documents were lost, incomplete, or contested. For instance, an uncle left several plots of land undocumented. After his death, extended relatives claimed ownership, leaving his children helpless. By keeping organized, accessible, and legally recognized records, wealth becomes less vulnerable to disputes or fraud. Documentation provides visibility and control, preventing wealth from disappearing into confusion. Number 22. Technology-driven solutions. Technology-driven solutions also play a role in modern wealth protection. Wealthy individuals now use digital vaults, automated alerts, and robo-advisors to monitor assets. For example, an entrepreneur used digital dashboards to track real-time performance of multiple businesses and investments. When one showed declining trends, he adjusted before suffering losses. Leveraging technology reduces blind spots and enhances security. However, technology must be paired with caution, ensuring that sensitive information is encrypted and backed up. Proper use of tech provides efficiency and additional defense in protecting wealth. Number 23. Sound mental health and decision-making capacity. Wealth protection extends to mental health and decision-making capacity. Many fortunes have been destroyed because the wealth holder suffered mental decline without safeguards. For instance, an elderly tycoon developed dementia, and opportunistic relatives manipulated his decisions, draining assets. By setting up power of attorney arrangements and family trusts early, individuals ensure that wealth remains protected even if personal decision-making capacity declines. Wealth protection is holistic. It guards finances, health, and the ability to make wise choices. Number 24. Network building. Another wealth protection tool is network building. Connections with trusted professionals like lawyers, accountants, advisors, mentors, etc. act as shields. When fraudsters approached Blessing with a dubious deal, her financial advisor quickly flagged it as a scam, saving her 8 million naira. Wealthy individuals rarely operate alone. They surround themselves with protective networks. A strong council of advisors acts as early warning systems, helping detect risks invisible to one person. Wealth without wise counsel is fragile, but with it, wealth gains fortification. Number 25. Real estate security. Wealth protection also includes real estate security. Owning properties without proper fencing, security systems, or legal surveys exposes assets to encroachment and fraud. A family lost land because unscrupulous individuals forged documents and resold it. In contrast, another family secured property with proper surveys, fencing, and government verification, ensuring airtight ownership. Physical assets require physical and legal protection, or they become vulnerable. Guarding wealth means defending it from both human manipulation and systemic loopholes. Number 26. Business continuity planning. Another risk mitigation strategy is business continuity planning. Unexpected disasters, fire, flood, pandemics can halt operations and erode wealth. Businesses with contingency plans survive while others collapse. For instance, during COVID-19, companies that shifted online quickly protected income streams, while those unprepared faced bankruptcy. Planning for disruptions ensures that wealth-generating systems remain functional. Continuity planning is about resilience, building financial structures that bend without breaking in crises. Number 27. Emotional discipline. Wealth protection also involves emotional discipline. Many fortunes are destroyed by impulsive spending, gambling, or speculative risks. For instance, N. Namdi sold valuable assets to fund excessive gambling, losing years of work. Emotional discipline ensures rational decision-making and consistency. By mastering emotions like fear, greed, impatience, etc., wealthy individuals shield their assets from internal sabotage. The greatest wealth destroyer often lies within uncontrolled desire. Protecting wealth means guarding not just money but the mindset that handles it. Number 28. Community engagement. Community engagement also helps protect wealth. By integrating into the community, supporting initiatives, and building goodwill, individuals reduce hostility. A business seen as exploitative becomes a target for vandalism or sabotage, while one seen as supportive earns protection. Wealth is safest when embedded within strong community ties. For instance, Dangote Group's investments in communities around factories fostered acceptance, reducing risks of unrest. Wealth thrives in harmony with society, not in isolation. Number 29, time diversification. Wealth protection further requires time diversification. Timing matters in investments. Entering or exiting too early can erode wealth. For instance, selling stocks in panic during a downturn locks in losses, while patient investors recover and profit long term. Wealthy individuals avoid timing risks by spreading investments over years, not